actually, like when I start developing the labels, like it was like the goal was very narrow, and with cooks, like as time passed, we kind of tried to expand the use case on this thing that was not designed for it. And like it's hack over hack over hack over hack. I have no idea how it's working properly until right now. And like I'm trying to refactor all the thing, but like it's like kind of a rabbit hole. Like 3 days I'm on it. Like Cooks, he already spent 3 days as well. Like but like I start seeing the end of it.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh shit.
Shall we start, I guess, with the issues? So I guess we are, this call is about preparation for 1.7.0. By the way, Wouter, I will have to mute you. I hear some background noise. So I shared the agenda already in the chat here, but the first item is, I guess, seeing what we can do for the 1.7, and I guess anything in between, bug fixes and everything as usual, can be done. So maybe it's better that I share my screen actually. Okay, tell me if you see the roadmap.
Yep, all good.
Okay. So 1.7, the highlights of this release will be the improved checkout page, I guess, and point of sale refund flow, open cart integration, which Andreas is working on, and alongside that, I guess, any bug fixes and any minor improvements that we stumble upon. Also, Custodian withdrawal support should be in 1.7, hopefully. And we will discuss like the specific PR just in a bit, because Wouter told me that it is in the state where it really needs a review and a merge. So we have a list of a couple of PRs.
I see something missing. Like we can add like the ability to put label on addresses.
Yeah, that's the problem. Like if it's not an issue, then it's very hard for me to keep a track. Like if it's a PR, I guess then.
Okay, no, okay. I will open an issue then.
Yeah, I'll put a PR. It's not a problem, but
one,
yeah, I'll put them as well. And if it's a work in progress, especially, I don't put it anywhere because we don't know. But you're right, this one should be there, so I'll put it.
But like this one actually is just a refactoring. Like nothing changed like for feature wise. But I think later we will need like in the receive page of wallets, like a way to say, okay, I want to attach a tag to a label to this address.
Yeah, okay, yeah, makes sense. I added it. I think there are a bunch of PRs that we can probably tag as well for 1.7. What I usually try to do is that there is always an issue, and then like a PR is basically just something that already fixes a ticket, but it's hard when there are like multiple PRs and multiple issues that are not tagged, so it doesn't work well with the projects. But yeah, never mind. You can put them, it's not a big deal. So going back to the roadmap itself, I think this one, yeah, it's now in. Maybe I can just assign it to you, Nicola, really quickly. So we did close a few things, like the ones that are like, I guess, pink are already closed. There are a few PRs that are actually in progress, and I wanted maybe to give attention to that unless there is something more that we want for 1.7. I'm not sure if you guys had time to review this specific board with all the issues, but maybe you can do it after the meeting, and then maybe we can just ping me and I will keep adding stuff that we want in. I moved a couple of things to 1.8 as well, especially the design things. I verified everything with Dennis and Destruct as well, because there are quite a lot of things, and we should we can probably tackle some of these if there is time, but there is no need to do a huge amount of UI changes for because we already have quite a few.
One thing, because I think we talked about the first item, so the issue for one, this morning. This is the one we said we are going to move to 1.8.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, I asked actually Destruct, but he's still in his sleepy time zone. Okay, yeah, I'll move this one. You're right. We did discuss moving it because... And by the way, there is no like a rule how these are sorted. That's why I added this like priority label so that we can somehow distinguish like one which are higher and lower. Like if something is medium, it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, we don't value it and things like that. Just trying to sort it so that we know like which are the really important ones. So if anything else is missing, just yeah, feel free to ping me. It's still a work in progress. I did a little bit of cleanups, but hopefully this is everything for 1.7. And as I said, like we will probably add a few things as usual, fix bugs, add maybe a feature smaller or two. So shouldn't be a big deal.
For the donation link to the sidebar, I think we need to bring this up with Destruct so that we can talk about it in next week's design meeting.
Yes, I did not add those intentionally because there are still issues that we need to discuss about. But yeah, I think that one also, and maybe I can like immediately add it as well. I need to just go back to that issue. You're right. We probably, it is actually tagged, right? How did I miss it? Oh yeah, it's here. Okay, sorry, my bad. Yeah, we need to have, I guess, first a solution on how we want to do it, and then it also needs to be addressed on the website itself because that's where everything is happening. Like people will land on that page. So for BTCPay server part, it can be something as simple as just adding a link to the website, and then we tackle it on the website, or we tackle it on both BTCPay, where we would just open pop-ups and then show, okay, are you individual, are you entity? If you're individual, maybe you should go through OpenStats and donate. If you're entity, like contact us. But this can also be addressed on the website itself, so maybe there is no need to duplicate efforts. So let's discuss this on the design meeting later on. Not sure when we have it, but this is something that should be like very simple thing to add, I guess. I also labeled quite a few good first issues so that like upcoming contributors can tackle those. I noticed that as soon as we like mark something good first issue, we usually have people just, you know, applying in the comments they want to tackle it. I'm not sure if they will deliver it, but we do have people commenting, so that's good to see. So anything else that I missed, guys? Or do you want more time to review it because I was late with my notes? Okay.
I will. Yeah.
Go ahead, Nick.
I think for the 1.7, I will just, like, as I said, like detail more about what I want to do with the labels. But yeah.
Do you mean besides refactoring them, right? You want to add something
more?
Yes.
Yeah, like I said in the when you create a new address with receive, you know, like doing like a Wasabi wallet or like any wallet, actually, they are allowed to attach a label to addresses. And okay, so then you can tag automatically when you receive money on this address, you tag the transaction so you know where it comes from.
Okay, I added an action item, I guess, for you to open an issue so that we're just aware of, you know, what needs to be done.
Like typically, for example, for the foundation, you know, like time to time, I need to give you some addresses to receive the funds. And often I give you the address, then I forget about it, and we receive money on the foundation, and I'm like what the fuck it's coming from? Bad. So that's why I want the ability to put like labels on addresses that solve this problem completely.
Yeah. I diligently use labels with my wallet, but like what bothers me is inability to, like when I move to another instance, everything stays on that same instance. So I think there is a BIP for it, right?
Actually, maybe we can also place that on the 1.7. Indeed, there is a BIP for it. And it's kind of simple things to implement once the refactoring is done. So maybe we can get it done for the 1.7.
That is the CSV export, right?
Yes.
Is it
It-
like?
It
I
is a
think it
CSV
can be,
export and
yeah.
it's in a draft state right now. Yeah, it's new. It was created at the end of August.
No, I don't think that's it. You're talking about like invoices, but we're talking about like a standard that was
No,
added.
no. I'm talking
It's
about
the
labels.
Yeah, it's the bit by Craig Raw, I think.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And we have it already?
No, the BIP is just in consideration phase, and they are talking about how to best solve this. So there isn't anything we can implement right now. We can just be part of the discussion.
It's on the mailing list, and actually the final word was like that there would be two BIPs. One would be for the format and export, and another one for sync. So I think if we can implement some kind of sync functionality where BTCPay Server is like your backend, that would be really awesome.
Yeah, I think the sync is like one day when it's stabilized. I think that like the CSV export is so easy. Like even if they change the spec later, it would be easy to adapt. But like the sync, I guess, is more work behind it.
Okay, so I understand the CSV export, but like, what do you actually mean with the sync? I'm not sure I'm following on that one. Can somebody explain it to me?
Yeah. So basically, if you're like me, I use Wasabi Wallet, and I also use BTCPay Server, using the same Ledger Nano that I have. So the labels are always out of sync, and
Yeah, okay.
I'm basically forced to use one or the other. But if there's like a sync functionality, then you can use any kind of software or wallet, and everything would be in sync.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I added a note here. So we cannot do anything about it right now. We can just participate and engage in discussion, right? Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I guess let's try to engage, maybe see how we can contribute, and I guess BTCPay can be a good pilot to roll this out once the BIP is ready, maybe. So, okay, I'll probably stop sharing my screen now, but I was maybe thinking of giving chair to Dennis to talk about the checkout page progress, and if something needs, if there is something that he needs help with, I guess.
I don't think I need help with anything right now. I'm in the progress of finishing the backend part. For instance, we also have fields that concern this in the invoice creation view. And yeah, right now I'm going through the backend and adapting it to work with the new checkout setting, which I already added in the second PR I did. And the first one about the store branding options, this is done. It just needs some code review. Destruct already said it's fine from his side. So Nicolas, if you can take a look, it's not that big of a PR.
There is only one single thing that I was worried. So this way of uploading files in store. So I tried to avoid it for a long time. The reason is that I was worried about spam. But I don't know if it's a good worry to have, because anyway, somebody that wants to spam has multiple ways to spam the server anyway.
You mean by offering the file upload directly in the store settings?
Yeah. Yes. And I think so. I need to check how you did this, but if I remember, like the storage isn't isolated. So is it a problem?
So the approach is the same I'm using also in pod server. So I use the file service class to add the file, and if there's a file, for instance, a logo in this case, which is present already, then I'm deleting the old file and adding the new one afterwards.
Well, that's bad. The other file might belong to somebody else then.
No. So in this case, where we are uploading a logo for the store. It's there to ensure that there's just one instance of this logo, and it's always the latest or current one.
No, but I mean, what happens if like one store uploads the logo, and then another malicious store upload the logo with the same name?
The file names get set by the file service. So every file gets a unique ID, I think. And so as far as I've seen, files don't overwrite each other.
Okay, yeah, I will have to check that. Because it should not be possible basically for a merchant to override the file of another merchant. So I'm not sure how to fix that at this point, but I will need to check.
Yeah. Feel free to take a look at this. From what I see, it's basically a convenience version of what we have already with the file upload inside the server settings.
Menu. But it's different security model, because inside the service settings menu, you need to be an admin to access it.
Yeah.
When if you put it in the store, you don't need to be admin. So that's why we need to be more careful.
But
yeah. Okay. That's actually a good point. Let's take a closer look then, because as I said, I'm using the same in pod server.
Okay.
Can't you put a upload limit on the uploader so that it only allows 5 meg maximum or something like that? And also,
I think they should have some limits, some sanity check.
And also put it in subfolder by store ID or something like that, so that you have a complete separation of the files.
Yeah. I take a look. Like maybe it's something easy to fix.
Yeah,
and also there was another point as well that was painful, that if you delete the store, how do you clean up the files that got uploaded?
Yeah.
If you store them by store ID, you can search for that path and then delete it, no?
Yeah, but the files aren't saved at all in the database, so it's not like we can easily
But you can check if the file path exists and then delete it or not.
Maybe. I need to check, because like this file storage is also abstracted. So actually they can have several backend behind it. So I don't know if there is this folder concept. Maybe there is, I don't know. I need to check.
Yeah, I think we might need to extend the file service with some capabilities for instance, this store ID or another ID which groups items.
Yep.
Then it should be in the database, right?
Not necessarily. So I wouldn't concern the database with it if we can get around that.
Yeah, like it's better to not save anything on that database when it concerns files. Like databases are not very good at handling like big blobs of data like this.
This is only for like very light usage, right? Or are we expecting people to upload lots and big files?
Maybe.
Yeah, with pod server, I actually have this use case. So people are uploading MP3s and potentially videos.
If that's the case, I can make a suggestion. Something that we do with our e-commerce stores is that we save the files as the hash of the file. So that way, if you upload the same file multiple times, it does not add to the storage. And then we track metadata in a table, and then you can query it and see if it's still in use and stuff like that. But there's just a suggestion. It's obviously more complicated.
Maybe, yeah, okay. Yeah, I need to think, because maybe this kind of thing can work and solve the problem of what happens if a merchant try to override the file of another merchant. Maybe it can be a solution.
In general, we have the metadata of the file in the database, so every file gets also recorded in the database.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Okay.
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 So for this specific PR, is like an action items. Nicholas will review it and then see, making sure that merchants cannot override it. But is there something more that we want to it? Should we open an issue if we want to like expand the scope of it? Like, is there something more? Is basically my question. Besides Nicola reviewing it and making sure that nobody can override the files.
Could it theoretically happen that somebody uploads a binary that gets executed by calling a URL or something like that?
So actually, there was a bug long ago, but it has been fixed since then. That was a vulnerability, but it was not big deal because only admins had access to the file storage. But at one point, like somebody could put like a funny character, like for example, ... to go in the parent directory. And by doing this, then they could override any files anywhere on the container, which was very bad. But it was not a big deal because only admin had access to it. So yeah, that's why like starting to allow upload like this, it opens the doors of things that we were not very careful before, that we need more to be more careful now.
I don't know if we want to go down that route, but I think in the Kubernetes space, there are some containers that actually offer file services like S3 compatible buckets and stuff like that. Maybe that we just supply another container where they upload the files and offload it from the BTCPay container to have that workload separated.
So it's what? It's a server that has the same API as S3?
Yeah, basically.
Because we already support S3 normally, even if it's not tested, normally it should work because it's a different library that we are using. Maybe it can be a solution, yeah, to make that the default. But like after like if we go on that road, it's good. But after we need to think about how to migrate people that are using file storage until now, like yeah,
it's a whole different can of worms. Yeah.
Yeah, but
maybe
it might be a good idea to see what's going on there as well.
Maybe we should discuss it in an issue to hear more opinions about it.
I'll tell Destruct that the custom logo has died.
I mean, technically, can we allow people to just put the link from an external website for the non-admins? So would that make sense? Like they can use any website and just paste the direct link? Or is that an attack vector as well?
That's what we were doing until now, actually. Like right now, you can already put the link. But that's why Denis and Destruct did this PR, is that it sucks actually doing it like this. Like where do you put your file? Yep.
Yeah. So for now, let's maybe try to find a pragmatic solution so that we can continue and not have this feature to die, to go on. And yeah.
All right. I guess now it's Dennis, were you? Somebody wanted to say something?
Yeah. Other than that, so for the next 2 weeks, I think I'm going to be mostly concerned with the new checkout version. But other than that, I also came across some WordPress update things, which ndeet and I talked about this morning, and I just saw that he tested it. Maybe we want to upgrade that Docker image as well. And I saw that right now we are just supporting the just one architecture, and the base image actually supports all of them. So by upgrading, we could.
For which one? Sorry.
WordPress.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Why not? But like, I don't know if we need to put lots of effort behind the WordPress like the WordPress image.
Why not?
Like I don't know. It feels to me like somebody that want to have a proper WordPress will be better off doing it on a separate server and hosted like in a like in something separated. Like I don't know. Like yeah, maybe we can do it if it's not complicated. But I remember as well inside the container, inside the image of the WordPress, there was some like native binaries.
We removed that.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I was.
Well, if it's easy, why not?
Yeah, I was using the container for the 21 shop, and it was working really well. And actually, I was a bit hesitant to just ship the updates we made earlier this morning, because I assume that many people are potentially using this. But then again, I don't know whether or not this is the case.
As far as I know, the files don't get overwritten if you already have the container deployed. So it only installs the new version if you set it up from scratch. So if you already have the WordPress installed, then it does not update at all.
Oh, okay. So from
because
your
the
end,
entry point script does not run if you do an update, and then no files get copied or fetched from WordPress. Maybe
Okay.
the core WordPress version does get updated, but for sure not the plugin and not WooCommerce itself.
Okay, so it might be safe if we just merge it and I try it on my instance to see if it works with the different architectures then.
Yeah. We could do that, but I saw when I tested your change that we have in the WooCommerce fragment in the BTCPay repository, we still have the very old image with the V1 release. So it still has the old plugin. We had already updated the WooCommerce image for Docker, but we did not reference the new image version in the master of the WooCommerce fragment. So I think we need to try that as well to make sure nothing breaks, but yeah.
So to just recap this, if we bump our WooCommerce, it does not come pre-installed with the version 2 of the plugin right now. It comes with V1. Is that what you're saying, Andreas?
Yes. And I updated the V2 version a few months ago, but it seems we forgot to update the reference to the new version in the fragment. And yeah, that's why for new installations also the old plugin gets deployed. But when I did that, I tested if it will overwrite existing installations, and as far as I can remember, it did not overwrite the plugin and not WooCommerce for sure. So it's safe to reference the new version, I think, because it will only get applied to new if somebody adds the fragment fresh. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. So in that case, I'd suggest that we just try it out. I have two instances, one where it was previously installed, and so we can test the existing install case as well as the new install case. We'll proceed there and let you guys know.
Since Cooks is not here, form builder progress. Dennis, do you want a very quick update, because you're implementing that as the part of the checkout, right?
So basically, I think it was last week where I checked out and reviewed the PR by Cooks. I haven't looked at the form classes part in depth, so it would be good if Wouter can take a look at that part of Cook's PR, because he'll most likely need to coordinate with his existing Custodian PR for the withdrawals anyways. But other than that, I've reviewed the PR and it looks good to me. I cleaned up the UI part of it. And for what I see, we won't need the database or the entity part of the forms for the new checkout version, because we can solve it, a bit more easily. Nevertheless, if we get to review and merge Cook's form builder PR, then Wouter and I could already build on what he's doing there, and I'd build on a subset of what Cooks did.
Actually, Cooks and I have been in touch about this, and I don't think that my PR is really related to the form stuff. I am already using that in code that's already merged, and it's also used in my Kraken plugin, so that is separate. So I don't think for this PR it's going to be an issue, and it's just one line.
Yeah, I just saw that both of you modified the same form classes, so that's why I assumed we need some coordination there.
That might be. I have to check.
Yeah. Because I recently also reviewed your PR, I think yesterday, and from what I've seen, it looks good.
Yeah, it's just a withdrawal. It has nothing to do with the other stuff that's already been merged like many weeks ago.
So YOLO and merge?
I'm just waiting for my merge to pass, you know. Okay, but there's like one thing you commented. I should check out that, fix that first. Yeah.
I guess now that was a good segue into Wouter begging for Custodian withdrawal support to be, I guess, finally reviewed, merged. But is there like something that needs to be resolved first, Wouter?
There is lots of stuff merged already, no? There is a big PR still to review?
Yeah, 4085.
Okay.
It's about the withdrawal part, and I didn't have an objection. I think the comment I left was just a question about why you are doing the formatting a certain way, because it's basically a two-string conversion, and when I ran the tests, I came across something where they didn't work on my system, and that's, I think, it was caused by me having a comma instead of a dot, where a dot was assumed. So I'd suggest you go with the two-string conversion I also adapted in the tests.
Yeah, I think I just missed it by accident.
So I guess besides that, it is requiring maybe Emperor's eyes as well, so that we can also get this one in. It's been quite a while, so. And Wouter did publicly say in Riga and shamed us for not merging this, so we really have to merge this one now.
It's not even that big a PR. It's like the smallest one of the many I did, so yeah.
Okay, let's add an action item that will keep our promise. From Riga and merge. What's the name of that PR? 4085.
From Riga with love.
From Riga with love. I will add that as an action item. I like it. So, all right, that one is done. And there is a minor PR 4068 by Umar, adding crowdfund app endpoints. It seems that Cooks reviewed it and Umar already did all the changes, and I think Nico, you also reviewed it today as well. So it's this one.
I think I merged it, maybe, no?
No, you had a comment about it. About
yeah. There was something wrong.
So we are waiting for Umar, I guess, to reply, and then maybe that one is also good to go. Was that your only concern or question there?
Yes. I don't remember what it was about, but wait. It has been 3 hours, I already forgot.
Yeah, it's late for you,
yeah.
so. Okay. There is also one smaller one, 4166. Cooks did it, but you asked him to bump the Docker file SDK and runtime. So I'll put it in the chat. 4166.
Yeah, maybe I'll do it. It's
Maybe
kind of
you can.
busy
Yeah,
these days.
yeah. I was also thinking maybe just take over that PR and bump it so that we can merge it since it's just a bump. Okay. And we're getting close to the list. So 4022. This is something that Cooks did, but I'm not sure if this is something that is like needed for 1.70 or because I see that yeah, it's actually tagged for this release, but I'm not sure what it does. Invoices API without store path. Has anybody reviewed it maybe?
I need to review.
This one is a little bit strange to me. Like we have namespaced so many things with the store, and now we want to get rid of that. Or that's like really weird because if you want to apply this logic to everything else in the API, it gets crazy.
Yeah, I don't like those. There's like so many like change on formatting. It's difficult to review actually, and I think we'll need to ask him what he wanted to do.
Okay, I added an action item to get clarity.
From okay, Invoice API without store pass. Okay, now I got it. I didn't want to do this because like if you don't have the store pass inside the Greenfield API path, then it means we are not properly enforcing authorizations. And I'm not sure if he know about that.
The question is there a way we can create invoices without having it assigned to any store? So can we create invoices which are not assigned to any store?
No, it's not possible.
Okay. Yeah, then.
And like he seems to have like completely as well removed the old. No, I put it back. Sorry.
Or maybe there's a future feature which allows invoices to get created without the store. But yeah.
Yeah, I think I checked, but looking at it, he didn't thought about permissions. And like so basically like I think it's PR, like it's like if you know the invoice ID, you can even change the status. So I need to look at it carefully as well.
I guess the only logical use case for this is if, for example, you have like 5 stores and you want to get the list of all your invoices across all the 5 stores. Maybe you could use a single endpoint, or you have an invoice but you don't know from which store it was, instead of just trying out one by one. But besides that, I don't really see a use case.
Every time you use an API to get an invoice, you get always the store ID in the data. So frankly, I don't think it's a good idea, this PR. Like it's to me, like, right now, it seems like it just open the vulnerabilities. And like, why doing it? I don't understand. He didn't put any rationale on it either. So
yeah, like, let's just check with the rationale first, and then we can see.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll seek additional clarity from him, but it doesn't seem like this is something that blocks the release or anything. So let's move on. I think there is just feature descriptor. I guess I will go with this one. We'll talk to Destruct directly because it's already been there, but maybe I just want to have like a little bit more concise messaging, because I would prefer if we could explain every single feature in a sentence instead of 3 sentences to the user, because it can potentially, I don't know, be easier for translators as well. And if we really cannot explain a feature in a sentence, then we need to fucking simplify it, because, yeah. So I will talk to, I guess add a note here that I will talk to ndeet about it. So that's all with the PRs. Does anybody have a PR that needs attention that I maybe missed on this list? Nobody? Okay, that's strange. You usually complain, oh, you forgot to include this PR. I guess there are a lot of work in progress PRs at this moment, so could be that. ndeet, did you want to chat about that? I guess issue 4146 about the potential, I guess, partially paid invoice and expiring invoice with late overpayment. Is it something that we want to do about it? We talked on Monday, I think, with Nicola about it. So
Yeah, we talked already on Monday. I think the only thing we need to discuss how do we proceed here for UMA to implement it. So my suggestion would be to bring back the overpaid column so that you can see in the invoice details that the invoice is overpaid, and keep it at the paid late status of the invoice. Because right now you have paid late status and you don't see that it is overpaid at all. So yeah.
Yeah, maybe we need to, I don't know, like I remember there was this column. I don't remember why we removed it.
It's because, so what Uma explained, it's because of the paid late status, then the column gets removed automatically.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so the column normally is still there, but it's just that we remove it. So like it's a small fix actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's about it. Another thing that might be interesting would be to have the original payment amount in the payment method. So, for example, right now you don't know how much sets you had to pay on the invoice. So you only have the initial fiat amount, but you don't see, okay, that was 10,000 sats or something. And if you have 3 payments,
we have I think we have several separate routes for this.
Okay.
You can query payment methods of
Yeah,
of an invoice.
I mean in the UI you don't see the initial
Okay.
amount. Yeah. So in the invoice details you don't see anymore what the initial amount was. Maybe I'm not sure if it's. I think the most important part is that we bring back the column overpaid also on paid late status, or it does not matter which status it is. Then the admin or the store owner can see, okay, there was an overpayment and can do the refund. I think this is the most important fix. Yeah.
So, are there any bugs, any issues that you guys want to discuss? 10 more minutes, or do we end this one early, or whatever else?
Yeah, I have 2 things that I would like to discuss very briefly. I have a client who is looking at setting up BTCPay server, and basically he's very paranoid. So he wants to put the server in his company network, but not publicly exposed. So he will be creating his own checkout. And I was just thinking, because the checkout is undergoing some changes, and in the future with plugins, it will get even more crazy. So I was thinking, like, should he then scrape the checkout page and then alter it somehow and then serve it through his web server? Is that like the best approach, or do we like create a separate API with some more HTML JavaScript fragments, so you get the same checkout page, but like in fragments you can like stitch it together back again? Or
I don't think I think he will need to expose it on internet, because like in the checkout page there is some local WebSocket or like local resources or shit like this.
Yeah, but this one thing we're going to proxy, so just the single URL, so that should be covered. And then I saw there are like 4 resources, like 2 are fonts, and then there's an image and an icon, an SVG, something like that. So I was thinking, maybe if you guys agree, we should aim to put everything in the page, so not that many external URLs, maybe. Or we could also in the HTML put in some placeholders like HTML comments, and it just says something like start logo, end logo, start this, start that, and he can do string replace and cut out or replace parts of it. That's just some simple solutions. What do you guys feel?
I don't know how complex it will be or not. Like it's something I never tried, so difficult for me to know.
So if you proxy certain URLs, why not just proxy the invoice page as a whole and just not proxy the rest?
Yeah, that is the idea, but he still wants to maybe change the header and maybe do some logo changes or whatever. So he should be able to easily replace parts of the page.
So I got one guy at one point. What he was doing actually, he customized the checkout page at the proxy level. So like he was overloading like some link there was, and like he was replacing images like this.
Yeah, but then you can only do like the image. I actually suggested it once in Mattermost to someone, but I don't know how crazy his designer wants to make stuff. So I was just thinking, because we are changing checkout and there are forms being added and other stuff, maybe you can put in a few comments like this is that part, and you can do like string replace and whatever without breaking the entire thing or without needing to make your own complete checkout all over again. So
yeah, I mean, we can insert comments. Nevertheless, I mean, this is a very implicit API that you then start to rely on, and to me it seems like this is most likely to break at some point then.
Yeah, it can only work if we all agree and stick to it. Yes.
I think if he wants to fully customize it, there's the only way to do it over the API.
Yeah, that's what I
and
thought.
He needs to generate the QR code and everything himself and has all the options.
Okay, I'll explore this a little bit further and see how crazy he wants to make things, or if we need to extend the API, stuff like that. And then there's a second topic, like small issue. With the payouts in the API, I noticed there's just one permission, and that's modify payouts. But I was thinking of doing a PR for the approval of a payout, that you would need like a separate permission, because approving a payout is much more dangerous, I think, than just general payout creation stuff.
Yeah, makes sense. Like
because this guy, he wants to do automated payouts, and if like one thing goes wrong, it can go to hell really quickly.
Yeah, like the big problem with automated payouts is that like normally like issuing a refund should be done by some person of the support. Mm-hmm. But the problem is that if it's automated, then it basically means that you're giving the private key to the person of the support, because he can like, create fake order and ask for a refund and like drain the wallet like this.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, so I'm also thinking of adding some safeguards. And one of the safeguards I'm exploring is a address book. So it would only like accept payouts to addresses in the address book, and maybe release that as a plugin. Just early stage.
Like yeah, you can do it at plugin at the early stage, but I think that this is a very good idea.
Okay, then no plugin. Then I put
yeah,
it in core.
But like it's something I think from UX wise, I need lots of love from Destruct. Because how do you handle it? Like for example, you might want like to whitelist some specific address, but by doing this, then you encourage people to have address reuse.
Which is bad. It could be like a server policy that is disabled by default, and only if you
what you can do as well is like get whitelisted stores maybe. Because like if the store is whitelisted, we can just generate addresses, or like xpubs, send to xpubs or something like this. Yeah, I like the idea. I think it should not be a plugin, but I think it's like UX wise, it will require lots of thoughts.
Yeah, but like if we add it as a core functionality and it's something that only a subset of people wants, and then we then need to have like attention of a designer to work on this specifically, even though like only maybe Wouter and his client want it, then it's like creates a scope creep, and it will like take quite a while because we have like quite a lot of things in terms of UI and UX that we want to do first, so it will take more time, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Then with going with
I
plugin.
I need to think about it, but it seems to me that it's actually something that lots of people would want, but I don't have clear idea on my head. It's late, so I don't think clearly. But I understand what you mean. But yeah, we need to think about proper use case. Like I cannot think of the top of my mind right now.
I mean, we could do other types of safeguards, but I do feel like there should be at least something, because with the API you can do crazy stuff, and more safeguards in some way. And that's it basically.
So for this one, should we just say that we will discuss it a little bit more, because there are like multiple things that we want to I guess get clarity on before we proceed with Andrew's book, right?
Yeah, I'll dig into the code and see with what I can come up with, and then we'll talk a bit more about that. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Does anybody else have something more they want to discuss? We have 3 more minutes. Nobody. Okay. Should we wrap it then? Okay, let's send Emperor to sleep. It's late for him. So you have 3 more minutes to sleep tonight, Nicola. Enjoy it, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Good night.
Notes will be available and recording as well.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
For too long, we've relied on trusted third parties to process digital payments. The world is changing, and so are your customers. As cash payments decrease, digital payments become the standard. But existing apps charge transaction fees and lack privacy. BTCPay is a Bitcoin payment platform. It gives control over your business back to you, helping people achieve financial freedom with donations, payments, and more. Help your family and onboard your friends. Use BTCPay to host multiple stores and become a payment platform of your own. While the world changes around you, stay in control of your finances. It's simple to use, censorship resistant, and completely free. This is more than a payment platform. It's transforming digital payments as fast as the world around us.